This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everybody. It's Tammy, and I'm here with you with another Rebel Agents Dispatch. Hello there. I just turned it on for just a second so you can see that I'm a real person, sort of a real person. And let's turn that off and go straight to the screen, because what I want to share with you today is public relations. Yes. So I've kind of rebranded myself over the past few years. I do a lot of different things, so it was very hard when people would ask me, what is it you do for financial advisors, insurance agents, real estate investors, CPAs, and people like that? I would say, well, I create content and I produce podcasts and blah, 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 blah. It was a big laundry list of things. And those things are all still things that I do, and they're still important. But what I wanted to say, that I think my primary function or my primary emphasis these days is on public relations, is on being a walking, talking evangelist for my select group of advisors, my Rebel agents. And the reason that I decided that is that because behind all great marketing that works, there's usually a great deal of promotion that's going on behind the scenes. In other words, just having a podcast, and I don't care how excellent it is. I don't care what kind of guests you have. I don't care, that it's syndicated on 15 different places. The problem is, if you don't have any promotion, whether it be from ads, whether it be from, putting, getting little blurbs and little reviews from some of your fellow podcasters, whatever it is that you're doing to get your podcast or video noticed, that's the promotion behind it. That's what makes it rock. Because right now there's a sea of content, and there's a lot of stuff coming at people with lightning speed, and there's just so many things that can distract you. Right? I'm easily distracted. It's amazing I get as much work done as I do, because there's a lot of distractions in life. You don't want to be another distraction. You want to be something that causes people to go, whoa, wait, what was that? Let's go back to that page. That looked interesting. So the way you do that is with publicity. So I see myself more as a publicist. And what my job is to do is to help you get the content created, and then to help you promote yourself and the content, however we decide to do it, whatever your budget is. So what you're looking at now is Ken Reeves. I just finished this press release a couple of days ago. I use a press release company that is particularly picky. There are lots of these companies out there that are distribution services. You've heard of a lot of them, like PR Log and some of the others that are out there. What differentiates the good ones from the bad ones and the cheap ones from the more expensive ones is how many times you're going to get rejected, right? Because the good ones have certain criteria that you have to meet. It has to be a certain length. It has to say certain things in the headlines and in the blurb that's on the top of the press release. It has to be in a certain format, so on and so forth. There's a lot of different things. You can't have bad grammar and syntax with this particular distributor. That seems like an obvious thing, but if you go out on the internet and you look at some of these press releases, you realize many of them are just rushed to market and there's no proofreading done. So there's a ton of stuff you have to do to get it through. So once you get it through, what happens and what are these things good for? Let's start there first. So what is the purpose of having a press release? Well, back in the old days, the purpose of a press release is pretty straightforward, right? You had a new program coming on TV. You had a new broadcast starting. You were giving money to a charity. You were doing an event. You were, hosting a family from overseas. Whatever you were doing, you had a company write a press release for you, which is essentially, the good press releases are articles, and they're probably at least 600 or 700 words long. They're written very much in the style of a regular article or blog post. So you would have a company do that for you, and then you would pay them to distribute it to their cultivated network of journalists, radio broadcasters, TV broadcasters, company PR people, wherever you needed to go to reach your audience, right? So the purpose was just to let people know, hey, you're doing something new and interesting, and maybe they want to send a reporter over to interview you. Maybe they want to have you on their television program. Maybe they want to have you on their podcast. That was the original intent. And to a certain extent, that's still a purpose, but it's not as important as it used to be because there's so many of these on the internet. So why do people pay to do these? Good question. One of two reasons. One, and this is the most common reason, is they would like to use the logos of major media networks because, number one, logos are very psychologically powerful. No matter how intelligent you are, no matter how much you say, I'm not swayed by advertising, you are. There's just things that you do not have control over. There's your subconscious. And the fact is, we've all seen the peacock. And if I said to you peacock, you'd probably go NBC right away. They're just intrinsically linked. They're part of the American fabric. They're part of the world's fabric. In fact, I think there is a game that you can download from Google Play that is just identifying logos, and you'll be shocked at how many you know that you didn't know that you didn't know that you know. You know. So anyway, logos are very powerful, and people want to put those on their LinkedIn profiles and on their Facebook pages, and maybe even print them out and put them on their business cards and things like that. It sort of gives you differentiation. It also gives you some status. It also makes people pay attention, which is increasingly difficult in these days, right? To get people to pay attention to you and to your message. Are they legal? Are they ethical? Look, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know your compliance officer, and I don't know your company policies. You are responsible for finding those things out yourself. So if there's doubt, if you have a lot of compliance constraints, get permission first. Just say, look, I had an article. You send the link to your compliance officer and say, I had an article published on Market Watch. Can I use their logo on my marketing material? Simple as that. So that's the number one reason. And those of you who are insurance agents and you're independent, you don't have those constraints. These are very good things to do. Put these logos. Again, I've had all kinds of debates with people over the ethics and this, that, and the other. But as far as I know, you can do it. As far as I know. Now, the second reason people do this is for a quick bump, a quick shortcut, as it were, to search engine. And I'll show you how that works. So Ken had this press release done, and we did it for three reasons, actually. A third reason that I'll talk about in a second is to create some content. Okay, so now this may not give you every search term. You may not find it if you put a Ken Reeves financial advisor, or if you put Ken Reeves annuities, it may not pop up there. But if someone's looking for Ken, like say you're driving down the road and you hear Ken's retirement radio show on, it's called Retirement Max, and you go, oh my gosh, I loved what he said, but I can only remember that it's Ken Reeves and that he's in Birmingham. I don't know anything else. So say you go on Google, you want to find out more about this guy, and you type in Ken Reeves Birmingham, and first thing you get is this website. And guys, that should be what the first thing is on the searches for you. If your website isn't popping up first, you need to get with your web developer and find out why not, because that should be in the first, at least the first 1, 2, or 3 spaces, the slots on page 1, right? Okay, in those positions, and that first position is Apex. Now, here is the first instance of a company that published this press release. Now, what happens when I write the press releases and I get it approved, it goes back to the company and they send it out to their cultivated list of media outlets. They have relationships with a lot of these websites. They have relationships with journalists, and they send it out to maybe anywhere from 500 to 2,000 different outlets in the hopes that at least a couple of hundred of them will pick it up. My experience has been with this particular company that you usually get between 200 and 500 pickups of your media release. They may be something obscure like India Farming Today, or they may be something like the Wall Street Journal, Facebook, what else? AP. I've had Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, of course, and some other prestigious journals as well. Okay, so they get picked up. This is the Associated Press's news site. right? So a lot of times these sites are used maybe by journalists to find interesting people to interview, or they're filler content that their affiliates can take and use on their own websites. They have multiple purposes. They are an advertising offering. So what happens is the media company either buys space or does some reciprocity agreement with these sites. We give you content and you give us space, something like that. And so they're not the front page. They're subpages within this. But this is still a very, everybody knows the Associated Press. They have some prestige. And so there's Ken's story. And they took off the photo because different sites will print different things. They may not use all the graphics that you put on there. They may truncate your article somewhat to accommodate it to, they have space limitations. They've got to take care of it. But by and large, it'll be the way you wrote it, maybe missing Ken's photo in this particular one. So this is how it works. So let's see if there's any other incidences of publishing. Let's see. Well, now you notice there's his Facebook page. That's really good. And the radio station, yes. Okay, here's another one. Hoover Chamber. Don't know what Hoover Chamber is. Okay, Hoover, wherever Hoover is that in Nevada? Hoover Area Chamber of Commerce published it also. No, he's in the Hoover, Alabama. I'm such a dummy. Okay, so Chamber of Commerce Publishing, that's something that he's done to get in search. There's a YouTube video that's posted to my channel that's up there. Let's see, there's Safe Money Trends, that's our website. And it looks like there's one PR and maybe another one. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So here's local news, localtoday.com, and you'll see that the press release is printed in all its full glory on that website. Now, you do get to include links. It's up to the company whether they're going to keep those links alive. In this case, they strip the links off. That's their prerogative. They may not keep them on there, but it gives you an automatic backlink sort of from that website if you're able to keep those links on there. You have no control over that though, okay? Nor do I. So that's how it works. And there's probably a bunch of others here, Singapore businesses. So you get some obscure ones and you get some well-known ones. The thing is, if you get it printed by a Fox or ABC or CBS or NBC affiliate, you can use their little logos on your banner or on your LinkedIn or on your Facebook profile picture. That's the idea. And like you said, you notice that now he's getting into the search engines really quickly using this. The downside, okay, the downside to this is that the hot properties like the NBC, ABC, and CBS affiliates, they don't usually keep those links up for more than a month or two at the most. Now, there are some of the obscure ones where I've written press releases 5 years ago and they're still there. But there's no guarantee that your press release is going to stay on the link. You're going to get a link report and it's going to say, oh, ABC affiliate in San Diego published it. You could click on it a month from now and it could be gone because they circulate and sell that space over and over and over again. So what I tell people to do is if you get published on a major site like Wall Street Journal, you should take a screenshot. You should perhaps download get a full page screenshot, download it, print it out as a ancillary to your packet that you give out at seminars and things like that. In other words, keep some records of it. And that's how the press release works. And there's a bunch of different ones out there you've seen. I think EIN News, PR News, and some of the other ones. They vary wildly in pricing. And to get someone to write one is another charge usually. So if you write your own, that's fine. You just pay them to distribute. You have to hire a writer, that's another charge almost every time. So here's the deal. For a limited time, I'm going to be doing, because I'm experimenting with the SEO aspects of this a lot lately. So for a limited amount of time, I'm going to be doing press releases like the one I just showed you for Ken Reeves, and writing them and distributing them and putting a photo on them and all that stuff, which is a lot more work than it sounds like. And I'm going to be doing them for $6.99. Okay, $699 gets you a finished press release that will be at least 600 words. We'll have a photo or a logo, whatever you choose to do, and it will get distributed. You will get a full report of every outlet that has picked up your story. And then if you want to pay a graphic artist, I have a graphic artist based here in the US, thank goodness, that will do a set of logos for you, including the files, the source files. And those are important if you're going to print it on a business card or stationery or something like that. So she'll do all of that for $125, which is a really good deal. So again, the press release by itself is $699 with all the distribution and all that. And then there's another $125 if you want a professional graphic artist to make logos for you that you can use. And it's a great deal. It really is. I just priced one at another distributor that was including the writing. It was over $1,000. So anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. If you're interested, and we will also give you a bonus, which is we're going to show you how to use this in a lot of different ways. So you'll get a lot of mileage out of it. It won't be a one and done kind of thing. You want to do this, give me a call or text me and we'll make an appointment. It's 925-864-6686. Also at the bottom of this particular video that you're watching, I will put that information. I'll also put a link to my Calendly schedule so you can schedule an appointment with us. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to tell you a little bonus that I'm adding for the first 10 people that actually respond to this, because I'm getting to the end of how many people I can actually take care of at one time. It's just me and a couple of people working on all this stuff. Okay, so as a bonus, I will, at no additional charge, I will publish this on Safe Money Trends in the news area. We have something called Money News, a category called Money News. So I will publish your press release in its glory on this page on Safe Money Trends. So it's a great deal. Again, limited to the first few people that I can make contact with. 925-864-6686. I hope that you got something out of this. I hope that you see the value in press releases. If you've ever wondered, I hope this answers your questions about what good are they. And I will talk to you soon about some more exciting things that we're doing over at safemoneytrends.com. Bye.